Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Wednesday, November 14th at about 7 p.m. 228 people remain missing in Northern California's Camp Fire, and the helplessness of the families of those who haven't been found is heartbreaking. The National Guard has been asked for assistance in searching for remains. California Governor Jerry Brown said today that President Trump promised federal aid, while state and federal officials pledged to dedicate their full resources toward the recovery of the obliterated areas. The death toll keeps growing there and in Southern California, where a third body was found today in Agoura Hills. Containment of the major fires has improved, but the threat of strong, unpredictable winds continues. Senate leadership voting was held today, and Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer were reelected as their respective parties' leaders. Kevin McCarthy will be the minority leader in the House, squashing a conservative GOP insurrection, easily beating Jim Jordan. Steve Scalise will be the number 2 Republican and Liz Cheney number 3. What will happen with the Democrats remains to be seen. Some anti-Nancy Pelosi representatives insist that she does not have the votes to be the next speaker. Pelosi, however, says she is 100% confident. Florida's Rick Scott and Bill Nelson both showed up at the Senate today, even though their election remains undecided. And the wild claims in Florida keep coming from both sides. Irregularity and incompetence? Sure. Fraud and trying to steal the election? Show me the proof. Trying to change the law after the fact? That's problematic. Retroactivity is a no-no and smacks of desperation. They need to count all the votes pursuant to the law in the time frame required, with reasonable exceptions, such as Palm Beach's machines overheating. Marco Rubio quoted the Bible today, tweeting, "You cannot count what is not there." The problem is that the incompetence has been such that we haven't known what is there. Let's hope Republicans and Democrats follow a judge's recommendation to tamp down the rhetoric and let the legally mandated process play out according to the law. After a hearing this afternoon, a federal judge said he will rule tomorrow on the case brought against the president and the White House and White House aides that seeks the reinstatement of CNN correspondent Jim Acosta. A long list of news organizations, including Fox News, have joined in arguing against the revocation of Acosta's White House press pass. Nobody, not even the president, should have arbitrary power to discriminate and pick and choose what legitimate reporters are allowed to work at the White House, especially if the decision to ban a reporter is made because the president doesn't like what the reporters say. The free press would cease to be free if news organizations couldn't determine who represents them. On the other hand, the White House should have the ability to demand that certain norms and decorum be followed. I criticized Acosta for rudely lecturing the president and grandstanding, but the White House, as usual, overreacted. Suspend him, put him on probation, talk to CNN about the need to respect rules, and make those rules reasonable and clear. Instead, we have a court battle. The UK and the EU have agreed to a draft Brexit deal, and the divided British cabinet has agreed to back it. Already, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has said he opposes it. Getting the agreement approved by a very divided parliament is no sure thing. Also, tensions in Israel are rising over the recent fighting with Hamas. Israel's defense minister resigned today in protest of a ceasefire he called a surrender to terrorism. Hamas celebrated his resignation as a victory for Gaza. And while we are used to seeing burning tires and protests in Gaza, it is now the Israelis in the south of the country, those who are most threatened by Hamas rockets, who are the ones protesting. In our alternate universes segment, The Great Divide Between Conservative and Liberal Media, CNN's Don Lemon said he thinks the White House press conference encounter with Acosta was staged. So now news anchors are coming up with conspiracy theories. No wonder cable news anchors did so poorly in a Hollywood Reporter morning consult survey. Lemon was the third least trusted after Sean Hannity and Rachel Maddow. As a rule, the anchors who are most trusted were at the traditional broadcast networks, led by Lester Holt, Robin Roberts, and David Muir. The reason is simple. The broadcast networks at least try to be objective. In cable news, objectivity is generally a thing of the past. The only cable news anchor to be in the top ranks of those trusted a lot is Anderson Cooper. It's a sobering survey. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. And please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I will see you again tomorrow.